Well, everybody, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are. I'm sitting here with Fernando. Don't worry, Fernando, that's not the quality of our live stream. That's just my Wi-Fi there. How is everyone doing out there? Welcome to the audience. If you're going to be watching this on replay, no problem there as well. We have a lot to unpack here. I have Fermube on the channel today, live in person. If I can get Galway to maybe work on my volume on this headset here just a little bit, that would be great. Can you hear me okay there, Fernando?
Yeah, I can hear you, Alex. Well, first of all, I want to thank you very much for having me on the show. And being the first time that I'm here in Chongqing, I have brought a little present for you, a little cap from Awi there. Yeah,
no,
channel.
You didn't.
Yes, sir.
You
You're
didn't.
Part of the crew now.
No way. Okay, guys,
Don't have to wear it now.
No, I'm gonna put this on. Hell yeah! Hey, chat with the people while I get my headset adjusted here.
Okay, I'll go on telling people a little bit about what I do. I basically travel around China, making a documentary and putting some short video format for my YouTube channel. Are we there yet? We are seeing ourselves on Alex's channel and my other channel, which is kind of like my personal stuff, not for travel. So that's Are We There Yet for you guys.
You guys see it? There it is. There it is there. Wow, that fits well. That's nice. Very nice stuff. Okay, well, good stuff, man. We have so much to talk about. We are here also. We're going to chat about this today, guys. If you don't know about it, I'm going to read that to you. That's 10 years on the Belt and Road Cooperation on Science, Technology, and Innovation going on here in Chongqing. Let's play a little quick video for the audience so you guys know what we're getting into. The first part will be in Chinese, and then we'll do the English video that James had. Sit back, watch this, guys. We'll talk to you guys in a few seconds. Okay, and now we're going to play James's video, promotion video of the event here. Sit back. It's about 4 or 5 minutes, and then we will join you because we've got lots of questions to ask Fernando here live in the studio. Yes, he is here.
At that time, we really want to increase the safety level of the batteries. There are several challenges in the solid-state batteries. The most important one is the interfacial problems between the electrode and the solid-state electrolyte.
She will show you the piece of solid-state electrolyte we prepared by ourselves. It's the polymer-based, and as you can see, it's very thin and also flexible, so it can solve the interfacial contact problem between the electrode and electrolyte in the solid-state batteries.
Ramon Paredes, who's from Venezuela, recently obtained his doctoral degree from Dalian University of Technology and also chose to work at this institute.
This institute belongs to a really important university, one of the best universities in the world. I knew that this institute will offer a friendly and encouraging environment for international scholar. My wife and I, we love the city. We think that the city has many things to offer, many parks, and the nature is really beautiful, and it's a city full of life. I come from Dalian, where the accent is so different. Yeah. So even though I've been here for 1 year, sometimes you don't understand, but it's a challenge, but it's okay. I mean, little by little, I don't think it's such a big problem.
In addition to providing an international work environment, the NUS Chongqing Research Institute also places a strong emphasis on close collaboration with industry.
Recently, we just read the agreement with China Auto. I think in the near future we will work on the new kind of high performance and high safety lithium-ion battery.
If substantial research lays the foundation for technological progress in society, then the practical application of research outcomes in our daily lives serves as the ultimate proof. Tumours have always been one of the primary challenges for surgeons. Successful removal and post-operative recovery are crucial to evaluate the surgical success. For many years, researchers and engineers at Haifu Medical have been dedicated to developing minimally invasive surgical equipment, which is focused ultrasound ablation system. It emits ultrasound waves from outside the body. The high temperature generated immediately causes necrosis of tissue cells, effectively eliminating the tumour. This approach can reduce the patient's pain and surgery-related complications.
When I heard about the HIFU treatment as an alternative for my uterine fibroids, I was actually very relieved and happy that I won't be undergoing a surgical procedure that would have some scar.
They have do a very good job, because I know even in the Africas and in the Middle East and also in Europe, they have make every effort to promote the HIFU therapy. I think it's quite good and quite new, the technology for the patient and also for the doctors. They continuously promote the medical device or medical concept. I think will be promote the one day, one know the same at the same time simultaneously.
With the continuous development of the Belt and Road Initiative, HIFU's medical technology has spread from China to continents worldwide. The company has exported its equipment to 30 countries and established over 60 focused ultrasound therapy centres globally.
So, we have the Chongqing HIFU machine, the JC200. We still have the only one in the United Kingdom. We had it CE marked for Europe in 2005. So now there are about 20 machines around Europe.
Welcome back to the studio, everybody. That is a video from James talking about this 10 years on the Belt and Road Cooperation on Science, Technology, and Innovation. I have just the guy to go into more detail about that right now. Fernando, you drive a new energy vehicle here, made in China, right? Made in China?
Yes, it's a Chinese made.
We're going to plug the brand in a second here. And I want to ask you about your experiencing driving the new energy vehicle here in China. Tell us what it's like. Cost, if you want to share the cost, and maybe a bit different from how it is to drive a petrol car.
Sure. I think that the biggest step is going from an ICE, from an internal combustion engine, into an EV is, okay, will I be able to drive as freely as I can my regular car? So I went from an imported Mercedes-Benz to a Neo ES6, which is made here in China. And seeing the growth and the development of the charging stations around the country gave me that peace of mind, number one. Second of all, the amount of swapping stations, which is one of the things that makes Neo different and so competitive, because you basically waste no time in charging. You just drop to the station, and in 3 minutes you're out with a battery that it's 93-95% charged, so you can continue with your journey. So it's a thing that gave me all the peace of mind to make the change from an ICE. I've always thought it would be great to get a Tesla, but when I saw the competition, basically, I actually, my most viewed video is my comparison between the Tesla Model 3 and the ES6, and the reasons why I made the choice to buy the Chinese one. It's a 40-minute video. So I really went into detail into every single feature that made me choose my car.
Right.
For the first 3 years, I decided not to swap batteries. I just charge at home, and the cost differences were enormous. I went from $1,000 to $1,200. 1,200 renminbi.
Right. Let's break that down. Let's break that down in US.
That's what, $200.
So 200 in petrol, you're saying?
Yeah.
In petrol, okay. $200, 2,400 a year. Yep.
270 yuan a month. That's $10 a month.
Wow. So
from 200 to $10 a month. That's huge savings. So for me, it became something that I wanted to tell people about. I wanted to talk about, well, look at the future, right? So those savings also transfer to, for example, time at the station.
Right.
You don't have to wait in line at the station, for example. In terms of swapping, for example, during the holidays in China, there are huge lines for people to put gas.
Okay.
Because there's millions of cars on the road. And of course, when you're talking about charging, well, every car is going to take at least 45 minutes to charge.
I never thought of that.
Well, but and there's 10 cars waiting. That's your day. But with NIO, you pop in, you swap, you go out. Sorry that I talk so much about my brand, but
but you're mentioning swap here. Now I'm gonna dial back a bit here, because we've got, first of all, most people in North America, they know they know the name Tesla, but they never heard of NIO. They never heard of Beyond Your Dreams cars. They'd never heard of Chang'an automobiles. Because most of these cars are not available in North America. Period.
Yep.
So they're either thinking new energy vehicles are out of my price range. New energy vehicles, I don't have a charging station in my town. So here you come into this picture. You've reduced your gas bill by 80 to 90%, and now you're using terminology like swapping you're talking swapping batteries?
Swapping batteries.
Tell me the process of this, because
basically you're on the road and you tell your AI, say like, hey, take me.
Slow down. You just said tell your what?
My AI assistant in the car.
Okay, now we're already 10 years ahead of North America.
So you're like, hey, I want to
walk me through this. AI, who's AI?
It's a little robot kind of thing that looks at you as you're driving and tells you which way to turn left or right or whatever.
Okay.
You can tell them, hey, adjust the air conditioner, or give me a massage because my car has a massage chair, or turn on whatever,
just
right?
Keeps getting better.
So you just talk to your car and you tell them, hey, I want to swap batteries. Like, these are the closest battery swapping stations. Which one would you like to choose?
Okay.
Choose number 4. Okay, it takes me to number 4. And once you get there, it automatically places an order. So there's a line, and he tells you there are 0 people in front of you, or 2 people in front of you. So again, and once you get there, it says, okay, park your car in the designated area. So there are some areas on the ground. You park there, and it takes over. It parks itself inside the station.
Wow.
So you park it outside, and it'll just park inside the swapping station, and the process begins. That's it. It takes 3 minutes, and you just drive off with a charged battery.
So are we kind of talking about, like, if you had a toy car and the battery in the toy car,
exactly.
Just like that. So,
and there are so many advantages to this technology. For example, I bought my car with a 70 kilowatt battery, which allows me to drive about 420 kilometers. If you drive like a good guy, but I don't. But anyway, the thing is that NIO has batteries that are a little bit larger. So there's 100 kilowatt batteries that actually allow me to drive 600 kilometers. So what you can do is you can actually rent
600 kilometers.
Listen, you can rent a bigger battery and pay a little bit of a fee so that you can drive longer. So if I'm going to drive long distance and I say, oh, I'd rather be more comfortable, you rent it and you pay it per day or per usage of your battery, and that's it. So you can upgrade your battery based on your needs. Okay, you don't need it anymore. Give it back to the station, and you take back another 70 kilowatt, and you continue with your life as if nothing. So, I mean,
But
this is gonna blow people's minds. I
but
think.
let's talk about if you had a okay. I've had many cars in my lifetime. I remember as a young guy, I would always have a breakdown where there was a radiator, the car is overheating, broken fuel line. I mean, what kind of breakdowns do you get in a EV car?
Tires, maybe. Just so few moving parts that even the brakes, for example, because it's got regen braking.
What's that?
Basically, when you let go of the throttle, the motors apply some resistance, so it's going to slow down the car. But at the same time, that is going to recharge the battery a little bit. So you basically have what is called one pedal driving.
Right.
One for throttle, let go, and it's going to slow down. If you need to brake, then you press the brake. But it also saves in that sense because you're not using your brakes all that much. I mean, once you gauge how to use it, you basically can use one pedal to drive. Just throttle, let go of the throttle, and it's going to slow down and even stop. So it's phenomenal. It's I've changed tires. That's it.
Wow. I mean, we could go in for hours. I'm going to move on to another question now. You've lived in China for more than 2 decades? Is that
Yes,
right?
23 years.
23 years.
Going
Okay.
on 24.
I mean, you've seen the development of technology in China. I mean, you attended, I have notes here from my cool crew that you attended the Big Data Expo in 2021 in Guiyang.
Yeah. That was last year.
What did you think of that?
Well, the thing is that a lot of people worry about sharing data, but the way that I like to see it is big data is a tool. The craftsman is the one that matters. So you take this data and what do you do with it? So what I witness is applications of big data, for example, for protecting waterways. So there's cameras, right, that can actually detect when somebody falls in the water, and immediately there's an alarm to rescue people that would tell them, hey, somebody fell in the water, go pick them up, I'm going to save them, whatnot. Somebody litters, for example. Somebody throws something in the waterways. Well, there's also an alarm, and hey, you threw that, here's your fine. So it's something that helps people live a more harmonious life and safer life. The other implementation that I saw was in terms of medical services. In Guiyang, there are people who live up in the mountains. If you guys don't know, it's a very mountainous area. They say that there's no one kilometer of flat land in this place. So for a lot of older people who live in villages that are far away from the city, it's very difficult for them to actually go to a hospital. So what they do is they bring these doctors with special cameras and computers and whatnot, and they have teleconferences with specialists all over the country. So you could be talking to somebody in Beijing, you could be talking to somebody in Shanghai, but not only do they get to talk to these doctors, but the entire history, the medical history of medications or problems that they had, visits and whatnot, it's online, shared on this big data servers. So the doctor in Shanghai or in Beijing has access to every single piece of information that he needs. And these people are offered these services that would otherwise be impossible. I mean, for them, it would take them 50 kilometers to get to the nearest big hospital to see a doctor. So this is the kind of work that is done with big data. The other implementation that I saw was about farmers.
Okay.
So they install sensors and they install cameras in plots of land, and basically they can share the information concerning the ground. So the acidity, the humidity, the chemicals that are out of balance, what kind of issues a farmer is having with a crop. So they just get on the phone with him and say like, hey, go to this one and let us check out the levels of this. So experts can actually give advice on how to treat the crops, mainly chili, that's what's coming out of there, and how to improve the product so that they can have a better profitability and they can build the brand of Guiyang and Guizhou chili. And that is taking place right now. That's what's called the rejuvenation of the farmland. I got to see that also in Guiyang during this. So we have all this internet of things that is being used to improve the lives and the conditions and the businesses of local people, and this is offered to citizens for free. It's just modernizing the services that are offered, and I can't wait to see what's gonna come next.
It's interesting, you know, we're talking about the BRI, and there's so many different aspects about the BRI. A lot of people think the Belt and Road is just about logistics. It's much deeper than that. It's improving people's lives. It's also improving people's lives outside of China. For example, if you're a durian farmer in Thailand and you want to bring that, you know, fruit or vegetable to the market, many years ago, it used to take, you know, send a container. That container would be on the water. That container then have to go into customs. It would be tied up in customs. And now that whole supply chain has really been cut in half or even into a third, as well as you're talking about, you know, battery technology, lithium batteries, and all these batteries that are powering some of these vehicles. It's not really that safe to be, you know, putting that stuff in airplanes. So you have to have a good rail line across China, going through Kazakhstan, going through Russia, all the way to Germany to get these products into the markets. I mean, you're Colombian. Let's go on to the next question, which is directly, you know, geared towards Colombia. Your hometown. Okay, so let's just say made in China realizes the subway dream of citizens in Bogota. That was this latest headline that we came up with here. Here it is here. I'm just going to pass that on to you.
Sure. Look, Colombia is stuck 5 decades ago in terms of infrastructure. Bogota is a pretty large city, about 10 million people, and we don't have a subway. We've tried all kinds of different things to implement mass transit solutions, and there's always a flop. Now, China has come up and said, like, hey, we can help you build a subway. Now, the main thing is there's a discussion right now. Are we going to build a subway that's elevated? Some of the things that we have here in Chongqing, or is it going to be underground? So there's a debate about this. One thing that people have to understand is that my country is one of those two-party systems that nothing gets done. So if this party is in power, then this party is going to do everything that is possible for them not to succeed. So when they go to power, then this one's going to do the same. And then the people, the population, are stuck in the middle, really not getting anything for themselves. Nothing substantial gets done. But we have elected our first let's say left-leaning president, and he is really dead set in improving the conditions and the situation with our relationship with China.
Good news.
And one of the main things that I could share with you, not only are they building now the subway, there's a debate right now. They're thinking about a mixed solution, having elevated outside of the city core and have it underground in the city core, because elevated is a lot faster to build, but underground is a lot more convenient during construction, so as not to cause too much traffic problems and whatnot. So that's taking place. But I want to share 2 things that have taken place over the last few days with regards to China, the BRI, and my country. We're not a full member of the BRI, but we are making steps forward, moving towards full membership. But one of the main things is, after a 10 years since the BRI started, after a 10-year struggle to actually get all the permits and all the certifications necessary to import beef into China, it became a success.
So just
Just a month ago, we got all the certifications. So now in China, you will be able to eat Colombian beef, and that is something that gives me great satisfaction, because our ranchers, our cattle growers, well, it's a brand new market. And not only beef, I think there's other like pork and poultry and whatnot. The second one, quinoa.
Oh, wow.
Quinoa is now being brought to China, and there's more to come. I mean, our president was here like a week ago, 10 days ago, and there were a lot of discussions about not only infrastructure, BRI, right, but also just bringing more produce from Colombia, and our farmers could not be happier. And you can see tangible changes happening, and that's what we haven't seen for many decades. One of the things that he proposed, let's make a bridge between the Pacific coast and the Atlantic. Colombia is the only country that has coast over both oceans. Central America does, but in South America, Colombia is the only one. So if we can connect the Pacific to the Atlantic, we become an option to the Panama Canal. And that's going to be huge for the country. That's going to be a great option for people. And it's going to bring more products easily into our the England of our country. So what we need is infrastructure.
Right.
We need better harbors, better ports, technology that they can share with us. So I think that the future is looking better for our close relationship with China and gives a great satisfaction.
I might have an off-topic question, but it's kind of an infrastructure question. There's an area between Panama and
the Darien.
Do you think they will ever build something in that area?
Well, decades ago, there was the idea of.
Can you tell the audience what we're talking about?
Well, it's called the Darien Gap, and it's called a gap for a reason. So basically, it's very. It's wetlands and there's a lot of mangroves and whatnot. So it's very difficult to build something in that area. And it's right south of the border with Panama. So decades ago, there was the idea of building the Pan American Road from North America all the way to the Patagonia in Argentina. And everything was built except that little bit. That's what it's called, the Darien Gap. Well, Darien. But you don't, to do this, our main port on the Pacific is Buenaventura. That's 2,000 kilometers from that border. And we have roads that go there. And our main ports, there's two on the Atlantic or the Caribbean, are Santa Marta and Barranquilla. You could literally go through the center of the country with a railway and hit the other ports, and you don't have to go to the Darien port. That's what's being proposed. Now, we got to understand that my country is very mountainous. There are 3 mountain systems. And for things to go from one side of the country to the other, you have to go through 3,000-meter peaks once, twice, and then 3 times. So we need help building elevated roads, highways, tunnels, things like that. A 400-kilometer journey from the capital to my city, Cali, it takes about 10 hours.
You're in Chongqing now, and these guys and girls and workers in this area of China and Southwest China definitely know how to deal with mountains. We can just look at the recent expansion of high-speed rail that has gone all the way up to Zhengzhou from Chongqing, cutting hours off the journey, and over 90% of the track is inside mountains.
It's crazy what they do here.
And then you blast out of the mountains, and then you hit a bridge, you go right back into the mountains and come out again, and another bridge. And it's truly extraordinary what they've done with that. Let's take some questions here. I see my mom is still up at this hour. Mom, what are you doing up at this hour?
Hi, Mom.
Get your questions into me, Rommel. Okay, so I've got some questions for you here. This first one came in. He says, besides Jeep, it is either awesome Chinese EVs, Jetour, BYD, and Zeekr. Okay, so China looks amazing. It's top of my list to visit, especially Shenzhen, Chongqing. I guess that would be Shanghai. Don't forget another area you want to recommend, David, to go to?
Go to Xinjiang, my friend. Go to Xinjiang. Xinjiang it's pundits out there want to call it the Disneyland. It's Wonderland. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's a third the size of Europe, and you have all kinds of sceneries over there. The north is like visiting Switzerland. It's the beautiful Alps, the beautiful snow mountains, the rivers, the forest. It's insane. And then you go south and you get the deserts and you get all this rough area. And
beautiful.
The culture is just absolutely amazing. And you don't need anything to go there. Just get a visa to China, book your hotels, and go to Xinjiang and see for yourself the beauty of this region. There is a reason why millions and millions and millions of Chinese people go there for tourism each year, because it's beautiful and because it's open.
Here's another question. You want to read it on the screen? You can read it.
Okay, can you have a pre-charged backup battery in the trunk of your car and swap it with the well, you're talking about ginormous things, okay? These are large. The battery could be at least 2 meters long, and a meter and a half wide. So that answers your question. I think no, you can't. Yeah. Plus, they'll be moving around and whatnot, and it's heavy. It's heavy.
Can you give us a ballpark on what kind of, like, if somebody wanted to get into the EV market, what it would cost? Like,
well, it depends. Here's an interesting thing. If you give me a minute, I'll tell you a little bit of how the history of EV cars developed differently than in the West. In China, what they did is they made public transportation mandatory to go electric. So that created gazillions of taxis being electric, gazillions of buses being electric. So the demand for the charging infrastructure was automatic.
Just like
that made it that when private vehicles were thinking about it, well, the infrastructure was already there. They didn't have to wait for private people to start pushing the development of infrastructure. It was created literally overnight, well, in a matter of a few months. But you can trust that is going to continue to grow. Now, in terms of cost, that's the thing. You can get a car like a Wuling for 50,000 yuan or less than $10,000, or you can get a car like mine, which is probably second or third of the lineup in my car, which is 500,000 RMB. But then now you're talking about a wide range of comforts and features that are comparable to some of the best cars out there in the world. Like we were talking in preparation about something that I got over the air OTA update. They gave me hydraulics. So basically, my car has hydraulic suspension, but with an over-the-air upgrade, they allowed it to lower itself when you walk to the car, so it's easy to enter. If you want to load something at the back, you can lower the back, and that's a feature that was given to us for free. I mean, we had the suspension, but we didn't have this feature. Boom, here you go, users. Imagine getting that much value that you would get in a high-end Range Rover for free over the air. Just an update.
Here's another question here. I don't know. I'm curious if maybe countries in South America will start using the e-yuan for cross-border payments. China recently bought oil with e-yuan.
I think that is something that will come. Let me explain. We are very subservient to America. So America says jump and we say how high. But that is slowly changing. That is definitely changing. One of the issues that a lot of our exporters have is that when America irresponsibly deals with the dollar, it affects us because it affects the exchange rate. So they can do whatever they want with their dollar, and we are paying the price because our exports get less for their products. The same when we import something. So it's completely out of our control when it comes to the US dollar. So something like the e-yuan would be something possible. But earlier than that is a Latin American currency. It's a Latin American way of trading without having to go through the US dollar. Not necessarily a new currency, but agreements that we can trade amongst ourselves with Brazil, with Argentina, with Venezuela, all these countries. Why do we have to go through the US dollar? So that kind of independence to trade within ourselves, within our subcontinent, is going to make huge indents into the dollar hegemony. And when that happens, then it paves the way for an e-yuan to actually come in and help us with trade with Asia and the rest of the world. So totally possible. And we're moving forward to there. Brazil is a great proponent of this. We just saw Argentina electing a president that is leaning towards more unity. And actually, he's also favorable to China. So things are changing very, very quickly around the world, and all for the better. So, yeah.
I was quite surprised when I was reading the amount of countries on the sanction list. Almost 30% of all world countries are on some sort of a sanction list by North America.
My friend, Cuba. The UN just voted 137 countries, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me, but something ridiculous, like all the countries voted to remove sanctions on Cuba. Only 2 countries voted to remain, US and Israel. In this day and age, Cuba sanctioned? Come on.
Wow. I mean, that's incredible. I know that you won't be attending in person this latest event we have here in Chongqing. It's called the Chongqing, the first BRI conference on science and technology exchange from today and tomorrow. I'm just going to read you guys a recap of the event. The first Belt and Road Conference on Science and Technology Exchange will take place in Southwest China's Chongqing from November 6th to 7th. More than 300 prominent guests from over 70 countries in international organizations have been invited, including Nobel, foreign academics, expert scholars, and renowned foreign university presidents, according to the China State Council Information Office, and more and more and more. I mean, this goes quite deep. Chongqing has established tech exchange with over 80 countries. China aims to make its technological advancements benefit more countries and people globally, as mentioned by Zhang Guangjun, thank you, Vice Minister of the Ministry of Science and Technology of China at the press conference. Currently, China has established technological cooperation relationships with more than 160 countries and regions across various fields, including climate change, clean energy, and healthcare. Amazing event. I encourage everyone to pay attention to our website, ichongqing.info, or all our social medias, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, even including Rumble as well. And the audience for tuning in today, we have over a few hundred on our channel, so thank you very much for that. And we have a couple more comments here. I'll read them in the side. Somebody said that not only subservient, but totally domineered due to sanctions. They were making that comment.
We are very dependent on military aid. So basically, Colombia has had drug problems and guerrilla problems or army problems. So basically, the government wants aid, so we get the aid, but they tell us what to do if we want that aid. So we are dependent on that. It's an addiction, just like several other countries around the world. Solve our main problems with drugs and violence, and then we don't need that anymore.
So let's step away from the conference and the technical stuff and the business stuff. Let's talk about you now. You're in Southwest China, I would say one of the greatest cities here in China, Chongqing. What are you going to get up to in the next few days?
Well, probably people are not aware that what I'm doing right now is shooting a documentary. I'm spending 3 years shooting the whole China. I'm going to every region in China, in the mainland China, and shooting a documentary. I'm already on my 2nd year. This is my 22nd month on the road. Well, I've gotten here to Chongqing, and I'm going to go out and take a look at this particular magnificent city. The infrastructure here is insane. So I'm going to get a lot of info from you of how to actually cover all the different amazing things that there are to see. It's a city like no other because of its particular geography and the solutions that have been built to transportation and to mobility in the city. It's worth its own chapter in any documentary about China. So looking forward to cover and shoot a lot of that here in the city, thanks to your help and guidance.
Where does everybody find you?
They can find me on Twitter. I am China Teacher 1. They can find me as Are We There Yet CH on Twitter, and also on YouTube. Fermube, which is a play of words with my name, Fernando Muñoz Bernal. So Fermube.
He says it so smooth. I always say Fermube, but I can't, like, because I don't have. Teach me how to say it again.
Fermube.
Fermube.
Mube.
Fermube.
Yeah, because
Fermube.
vowels in Spanish have only one sound.
So that's why they always pronounce it like Medellin.
Medellin.
Even though if you read it, it's like Medellin.
Medellin with whom? Okay. So yeah, you can find me also on Are We There Yet on YouTube. So those are my main channels. I'm slowly going into Spanish content, which is something that I found a lot of people are. There's a void, basically. There's a lot of people creating content in English and sharing stories about China in English, but very few have the experience, expertise, and footage, so to speak, to share it in Spanish. So I think that there's something there for me to contribute. So I'll be moving in there. There's also Twitter and YouTube. Fermube en español.
I got a couple more messages here. Hello, Fernando. Do you still own the Neo?
Of course, I own it. I
Okay.
bought it. I put it off a year ago.
if the car has a backup battery, then may as well just connect wires to it. No need to charge the battery. I think it's a little bit more complicated than that. maybe.
Well, there's actually 2 ports in the car. There's a slow port and a fast port. But an interesting thing about the fast port, and this is something that I mentioned to you also, is that the fast port can also discharge.
Mm.
So, for example, with my RV, which is a trailer, so
Mhm.
we're 2 vehicles, right? There's a leading vehicle and the trailer at the back. The trailer has its own batteries, but they need to be recharged. So one of the things that makes it very easy for me to boondock is basically just staying outside of RV camps in a park or in nature in a mountain, is that I can charge the battery of my trailer with the battery from my car. My RV trailer has what they call here in China 10 Du.
What's that? What's that mean?
10 kilowatt.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, my car has 100 kilowatt. So I could recharge my RV battery 4, 5, 6 times before having to go back into society, so to speak. So I could just go off grid for a very long time using the battery from my car. So there's 2 ports, slow charge, fast charge, but this one can charge and discharge at the same time.
Well, everybody, you've heard it from the expert himself. Is there any other messages here that is that what language is that there?
Can't see. Yeah, I think that's Spanish.
What does that say?
Let me see.
Yeah, have a look at that one.
Yeah. Shaolin monks. He's asking, ¿Dónde están los Shaolin monks? Where are the Shaolin monks? We're in Shaolin, my friend.
Here's one more. This is great. I could have a live stream with you for all day. Install solar panels and wind turbine to charge it as you go. Okay.
Sure, that's a possibility.
Here's another question for you here. You want to have a look at that one?
Right. Yeah. Quiero ver Wuto en tu canal. Well, Wuto is a place that we will be visiting. The thing is that last year when we did the East Coast, COVID was hitting really hard, Zhejiang and all that area, so we have to bypass it. That's a whole other chapter of traveling around China in an RV trailer with 2 cats and a dog during COVID. But
it's amazing. Technically, the borders didn't open until what, 15th of April?
Yeah.
So April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, like 7 months we've only really been fully open here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, long way to go, guys. I mean, we got a long way to go here, but I really appreciate you coming on to the channel today. Don't forget to subscribe to his channel. I have put the links in our description. We're going to head out of here. Somebody said, yes, I thought that the Spanish-speaking world is moving more towards China trade. Yes, definitely. Well, we're going to head out. I'm looking forward to getting him into some adventurous things here in the city. Have you been down to the CBD area yet?
Not yet. I landed, flew out, flew back in, and I'm here with you.
All right. Well done, Fernando. You guys have a great time, and thank you for your audience for joining today. It was nice.
All right. No, thank you all, guys. And well, until we see you again, take it easy and bye for now.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.